Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Channel 3. Today we have a special guest. Please join me in welcoming Phil Vischer. Welcome to the show, Phil. It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here.
Well, let's get started. So Phil, what kind of an upbringing do you have?
I had a regular Christian childhood except for one thing. My parents got divorced shortly after their 16th anniversary. After that, I crashed hard. I later found out that divorce is very common in America. I wanted to address problems like that in my series VeggieTales.
What exactly is VeggieTales?
VeggieTales was a series I created around the idea of talking veggies teaching Bible lessons with some fun music. In the beginning, we had to use very simple animation, so that forced us to use one-legged characters, such as tomatoes or cucumbers. My original idea was a chocolate bar, but I decided against it.
What led you to create Big Idea Productions?
From a young age, I felt God calling me for service in filmmaking. In my junior year of high school, I found out that motion could be reduced to a mathematical equation. By this time, I had already bought a computer, so I went ahead and plugged that equation in to make a video of a ball bouncing across the screen. This is when I felt the calling to use computer animation for God.
How did Big Idea start?
With God's help, myself and 2 other employees created the first video. That took a lot of work. From late July 1993 to late December of 1993, we had to make everything for the first video. During that time, my team of 3 created 54,000 frames. Each of these frames had to be created one by one. That means that we had to make a frame about every 3 minutes, 24 hours a day for 4 months. We also had to do the sound and music for us. That first video sped us on our way to become a very successful company.
Wow. How did you get Big Idea from 3 employees to hundreds of employees?
Once we had the first few videos, we needed to hire more people. In the beginning, I tried to mostly hire Christians, but it is technically illegal to screen for religious beliefs when hiring. Eventually, I handed the hiring responsibilities to someone else. They did not try to hire Christians. These new hires made their way into financial leadership positions. These people made some bad financial decisions, which eventually led to our bankruptcy.
Wait, Big Idea went bankrupt? How did that happen?
Big Idea slowly started losing money in late 2000. We were then working on our first movie, Jonah, but we were $20 million short of creating it. The worst part was the other income sources were keeping the money to pay for advances. And Lyric, a company we had already partnered with, was selling their company to Hit Entertainment. The deal we had with Lyric said that if the company got sold, we had the right to just walk away from the deal. But Hit Entertainment found a loophole in the contract. Because of that, we got sued. Hit Entertainment sued us for $11 million. To pay for that, we had to sell Big Idea in April 2003. Classic Media, the company that bought Big Idea, canceled VeggieTales in 2018.
What were you thinking as Big Idea was going down the drain?
At first, I was confident that it would all be fine. But as events progressed, I found myself worrying more and more. After it all happened, I was asking God, why did you let this happen? Throughout the course of 3 months, God sent me many signs that that was his plan.
Did anything else happen to Big Idea after it was sold?
On August 5th, 2005, a federal appeals court overturned the verdict. They realized that the loophole didn't matter. Nothing actually changed, but God was telling me that he had a plan all along.
Now that you don't own Big Idea, what do you do now?
In 2005, I started a company called Jellyfish. Jellyfish makes films and books for children. I named it Jellyfish because they cannot move themselves. They can move up and down just a little bit, but not much. They have to trust the current to move them where they need to go. We need to be like jellyfish. We need to trust God to move us where he wants us to go.
So what did you learn from all this?
I learned that God will sometimes bring dreams to fruition, but when he decides that dream is done, he may give you something even better.
That's true. Thanks for coming in and talking to us today about how God can help us through even tough situations. So stay tuned to Channel 3 for our next story on how to eat more veggies. Remember, kids, God made you special.
And He loves you very much.
If you like to talk to tomatoes, if a squash can make you smile, if you like to waltz with potatoes, up and down the produce aisle.